Oh my, a studio of one! Guys, let me know what you think of that song. I just created it today. Of course, I don't play instruments, don't sing either. But hey, AI is our friend, right? Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me, guys and gals for joining me today. I just want to say how much I appreciate every single one of you who are joining me on this journey of the past several years, tens of thousands of, contacts and messages and stuff like that. And I've got a real big treat for you guys today. Now, I just want to first off, just in the chat, let me know where are you joining me from. I can see, let's see here. We've got Technicom Media from Fort Lauderdale. It's got to be mega hot there, as I'm assuming. Thank you for joining me from all the way down south over there. Ronan, the VO warrior, the voiceover. Was that what VO is, Ronan? Good morning from another Floridian, Coral Gables, Florida. Unfortunately, I don't know where that one is. Brett Hawes, thank you, my friend, for joining me today. Brett lives in Uxbridge, Canada, which is just north of Toronto in a beautiful, beautiful small little city. Just gorgeous, gorgeous over there. And then Mr. Joel, what is up, my friend? How are you, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you guys all on this live stream. So today, hey, listen, the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes, I'm going to walk through what Creator Tech Lab is, who it's for, and how to decide if it's for you, right? And then we're also going to do some Q&A, and that Q&A can be with regards to Creator Tech Lab, what that is, but it can also be related to any of your Ecamm questions or your tech questions as well. I'm going to be doing regular live streams just to help everybody out on the Ecamm side of things, and then if you want to dive in deeper in terms of very specifics about Ecamm and how to make that work with a lot of your gear, I'm going to encourage you to join Creator Tech Lab. Now, essentially, Creator Tech Lab is this. It's going to be for you if you present, if you stream, or if you record on a Mac and your tech just keeps fighting you, right? Then Creator Tech Lab's for you. Let me know, shout out, you just put in the comments like me if you are experiencing technical challenges every so often in your journey of Ecamm as well as everything else. Go ahead and let me know. Let's see here. I know that, oh, look at that. I'm buffering a little bit. I've got the entire family in the entire world using the internet right now for experiencing any of those tech challenges, because you know what, it's a relatable pain, right? Software crashes, audio echoes. We've spent real money on a lot of gear, and the challenge really comes down to this. It's like, what do I do? I don't know where to go. And sometimes you go on into the internet and you post a question, and a lot of people don't end up posting it. A lot of people just sometimes don't want to post it, and what happens is they feel shamed because sometimes people don't make them feel great on the internet, and that's happened. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of us, and I'm sorry it has happened to you. But here's the thing: Creator Tech Lab and myself, me, Daniel, I've always committed to helping everybody to be able to overcome their struggles and their challenges so that they can build up their confidence in their content creation journey. I want you to understand that using Ecamm, doing content creation, doesn't mean you have to live stream. Even I do live streams and I still got nervous. Man, I got nervous just before today, right? I was like, oh my gosh, 60 seconds left. But you know what? The thing is, once I do it, I know that I'm okay, because if I run into any technical problems or hiccups or challenges, I can overcome them. I can easily overcome them. Why? Because of my years of experience, the thousands and thousands of hours of troubleshooting, of trying different pieces of gear, of doing all of the different things and kind of, figuring out how this works or different types of workarounds. And because of that, I've been able to really just figure it out. Thankfully. And I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting. I'm basically just saying is, listen, I've been there, I've done it, I've got the t-shirt, I've got the tattoo for that. And I want to help you to be able to overcome your struggles and your challenges so that you don't have to deal with those struggles, right? So that you can just go on and move forward with your content creation, right? So I'm gonna reassure you right now, like, if you started a while ago, and you're still struggling, don't worry, you're not behind. You're not bad at this. The tools are just more confusing than they should be for the most part. I mean, heck, I wish I could just press a button and everything would happen for me, right? We're not there just yet. We still have to do a little bit of work in order to be able to make all of that stuff work. All right, so Creator Tech Lab essentially is a school. It's an online SKOOL school, which allows you to join in a like-minded community of content creators, live streamers, presenters, Ecamm users, right? Anybody who's basically just creating a video or a podcast and being able to send that out into the world. If you are looking to level up, if you're looking to overcome your struggles and your challenges, if you're looking to learn cool new things, if you're looking to become part of a close-knit society or community that thinks just like you, that is trying to grow with you, and that is also helping you to grow, that's what Creator Tech Lab is. It's not a wall, of like basically, hey, here's the most expensive gear that I bought. It's none of that. It's definitely none of the, hey man, you should already know this. Well, you've been doing this for a long time. You should already know that. That is not what Creator Tech Lab is. All right. And so the core promise is this. I just want to make sure that you understand that I know you can do all of this stuff. And I know you can as well. But sometimes we're our own worst enemy and we get in our ways. Right. And so I just want to make sure that you succeed. That's it. I've been so blessed and so humbled by being able to work with some of the biggest names on the internet. And it's just been a blessing, to be honest with you, through the relationships that I've made along the way, through, just getting out there and just getting myself known. I'm so thankful that I've been able to help these other individuals with their journeys as well on the content creation journey. So whether you're brand new, or whether you're seasoned, or whether you haven't made $1 yet, or whether you've made 10 or 20 or $100 million in your business, I've helped everyone across that entire board. All right. And so Ecamm is going to be one of those fundamentals of that, because it really is honestly one of the most simplest and easiest software pieces to learn. Yes, you do need a Mac. I'm going to be honest with you. You do need a Mac. However, the Mac Mini, the M4, and hopefully the M5 is going to be coming out before the end of this year. I'm using that right now. This thing costs me, from a US dollar perspective, I want to say about $600. And it's working great, and it does a lot of my productions as well. So you can get started for under $1,000, switch over to Mac, and I'll teach you how to do everything. That's what I'm here to help you to do. All right? The biggest thing is this. I don't want you to be stuck, right? Because what's the cost of staying stuck? Let me know in the comments. What do you think is the cost of just being stuck, of not doing something? To everybody, it's different, right? To my clients and friends who are $1 million annual earners, that 1 hour of being stuck, or that 1 day of being stuck, or that live stream, or something that just didn't work out well for them, right, cost them a ton of money. But what is it for you? You see, wasted monthly spend on different tools that you don't necessarily use, hours lost to Google, YouTube, ChatGPT, all of these different things, trying to figure out, hey, AI, how do I do this? And little do you know that it's actually just fleecing you, right? It's gaslighting you, thinking that, oh yeah, here's how it works. We all know AI hallucinates. We all know this, right? And so what I want to encourage you to do is to use that in some parts of your life and in your business, but then learn from us live humans who have done this. We know the ins and outs of the software. We know the ins and outs of the hardware. All right, so what's the real cost of staying stuck for you? All right. Brett, you basically said it. You never actually get anything out there. That's the big thing, right? Have you ever been in that situation where you just didn't get the product done? I have. I'm going to be honest with you right now. There are situations where I've done that. And I've realized I've got something bigger to do to be able to help other people, right? So I don't want you to be isolated with all of this. I don't want you to just have this kind of like this slow leak coming out of your car tire all the time, where it's like, I really got to do it. You pump up the tires and you're good to go for a little bit, and then there's a slow leak, right? I don't want that to happen to you. And that's what Creator Tech Lab is for. That's basically what you're going to be joining. You're going to be getting a lot of different cool features. Like, so for example, you're going to get direct access to me. Direct access to me. I mean, what does that mean? I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm the #1, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is this. I know I can help you. I know that I can. And the reason why is this, because I know that if I cannot figure it out, oh gosh darn it, I will figure it out and I will share that with you. However, thankfully, in a lot of my experience in doing this live streaming and content creation, building studios, configuring and designing hardware and camera and audio solutions for individuals as well as companies and corporations, right? I've really been able to understand how to solve a problem without big issues. You know, if you go to the school Creator Tech Lab school community and you just look at one of the videos that I posted on the front, you can see some of my friends and clients who are, these are the big well-known people, and they say the exact same thing. Download's just figured it out. Right? He's just been able to figure it out. So I want you right now, because I know we're about 20 minutes into this call, I want you to start writing those things down. What's the big tech challenge that you're dealing with? What's the current problem or the current hurdle that you're starting to deal with? And I'm going to save that. Don't post it yet. I want you to save that for when we do the Q&A, because that's where I'm going to help you and answer those. And you can kind of get a little bit of a taste of what I can offer. All right, so aside from direct access to me inside the community, it's also going to be a no judgment community. We are here all equal. We are here to help each other, to grow with each other, to support each other, to be able to share our wins with each other. And I know, I get it, a lot of communities say, oh, let's kumbaya and let's all do all those things. And that's not what this is. That's not what Creator Tech Lab is, okay? Because that's not me, right? However, if you join it and you want to kumbaya, that's totally fine with me. But I will participate with you, all right? I joke and I jest. I'm not saying that, you know, this is, you know, a hard whatever community. It really is a very supportive community, and it's going to be that way. And if you're not supportive and you come in, and I got to tell you, there's going to be some slaps on the hands if that does happen, or I might just remove you, all right? The other thing you get from Creator Tech Lab is live weekly calls. So I'm actually going to go live in that community, and I'm going to do some trainings, some teachings. I'm going to talk about some new gear. I'm going to talk about some of the partnerships that I might have started or have been having over the past little while. I might talk about some news and industry or for some upcoming type of stuff that I'm not going to be talking about on the public airwaves, right? So you're going to get that. I'm also going to be doing all of the troubleshooting inside of that. So we're going to, let me see, which is my button here, live troubleshooting. Right, so if you are dealing with a struggle or a challenge, join that call. Join me on the live and I'm going to fix it with you. Right? What's that worth to you? What's that worth? I'll tell you right now, I charge $500 per hour for my support, and my clients pay it. Right? They happily pay it. Why? Because 1 hour or 2 hours or half a day of not being able to get past that hurdle, to get past that brick wall that they have, is worth a lot more than the $500. Right? And I pretty much guarantee that I'm able to solve their problems, okay, until I do, right? I don't give refunds to them, but I'm like, all right, you already paid for the hour. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to let you know. You can ask any single one of them. That's exactly what I do. All right. I'm also going to have special guest sessions. These are going to be people who are in the content creation industry. They might be live streamers. They might be trainers. They might be different types of presenters from all across the different avenues. And this is probably not going to be the normal people that you see. I'm actually going to be interviewing a lot of people who aren't being asked to be on these live streams. Right? I know that there's usually like a little clique and stuff like that, and that's cool because I love being part of that as well. But I want to expand this journey. I want to bring more knowledge and experience from other people around this globe to be able to help you and figure out, okay, great, what's the one nugget that you got, right? One nugget. Because if you can just get one nugget per week, that's 4 nuggets a month. Well, what can those 4 nuggets be for you? It could be revolutionary. It could be completely life-changing for you just by getting one little new thing upgraded, updated, or just fixed, right? Also, inside of the school community, we've got 3 full courses right now. These are courses that I've charged for in the past. One is called Virtual Event Blueprint, and that one is basically the framework that allows you to figure out how you can configure or what you need to do to be able to get a successful virtual event. So let's say you're doing a Zoom webinar and you're there to talk about your program or your course, right, that you're looking to sell. Well, there's a certain thing that you need to do in a very specific sequence in order to be able to make that really successful. right? Yes, you could just go email your list and say, hey guys, join me on Zoom. That's totally fine. But did you know that when you do it in a very particular way, not only does it look professional, but it also converts higher. And that's what Virtual Event Academy is about. Yep, that one is included, Joel. And in addition to that, we have got the Ecamm audio workshop. All right, okay, let's just call this like, Ecamm is amazing. You know that, I know that. The other software pieces that are out there that do what Ecamm does is good as well, but they're not as easy to learn as Ecamm. Now here's the thing. Video is easy to distribute. Video is easy to make that happen and get from your webcam or your camera into your computer system. The biggest challenge is audio. You know, like right now, I know that I'm looking at my audio meter inside of Ecamm, and I'm making sure that I am not buffering. I'm making sure that I'm not echoing, right? How do I know this? Well, because of years of experience, right? But these are the extra little things that I'm going to encourage you to learn as we go on this journey. And the audio workshop is, I think, 3 hours worth of detailed training all about audio, all about the different types of microphones, all about the different types of problems that you can have with audio, how to detect what those audio problems are, and then also how to fix them, right? And how to fix them inside of Ecamm Live, how to troubleshoot all of this. That's the big one, right? Yeah, man. Like, oh, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Let's see. Right? Audio help is where I need help. So right, so right. Joe, Ecamm is awesome, but devices are hard. Cameras, mixers, etc. all have terrible instructions. They do. They absolutely do. And, you know, thankfully, I'm one of those people who don't like to read IKEA instructions. So I basically just figure it all out. And when I do figure out how to use those things, what I end up doing is I break it. And I figure out how to make it work. So that's kind of a little bit of an aside there. All right, so what else do we have? So of those, the third course is the Live Producer Playbook. This was a big program that I had done a while back. And Live Producer Playbook is, I want to say 6 or 8 hours worth of recorded content that I'm actually updating all the time. And you get full access to that. And what does that mean? It means that you will not only learn about the different types of computer systems and hardware and cameras and audio and microphones, but you'll also learn how to produce and learn the standard operating procedures, or the SOPs, that I utilize in my own practice, my own business, to be able to do this content creation, right? Everything that I did before this live stream, I followed my SOPs. And when I follow my SOPs, that means I have a higher success rate of making sure that things work, of making sure that things don't struggle, right? And that's what is inside of Live Producer Playbook. It really is honestly quite a big course. Now, some people might be saying, Daniel, there's only 3 courses in here? Come on, what's the value? Well, I'll tell you this, new courses are always going to be added every 30 to 60 days, depending upon how big the course will be. If you know me, you might be aware that I have a very vast experience in a lot of different technologies, whether it's the internet, whether it's marketing, whether it's, you know, media, whether it's live streaming, whether it's content creation, whether it's camera, whether it's audio, whether it's church productions, whether it's on-site productions, whether it's hybrid productions, whether it's building and designing studios, whether it's troubleshooting, fixing problems, or plumbing too. I can do plumbing as well, right? So all of those things I can create new courses and programs for. And here's the thing, is I'll create a list and I'll give it to a vote to everybody who's in the community to say, what do they want next? What do they want next? What do they want next? Because I don't want to create something that I think is going to be great, because I think it's all great. What I want to do is I want you guys as the family, right, inside of the Creator Tech Lab, I want you to decide what comes next, right? And heck, maybe you can be a part of it. I don't know. Right now, these can be live trainings. They could also be recorded trainings as well. But here's the thing. It's that those trainings are going to be extremely valuable. And I can tell you this, I've got a lot of them right now in the queue. And, oh, my video is just struggling. One sec. There we go. I've got a lot of stuff in the queue, and you're going to be able to vote for those. Okay, so those courses are always going to be updated. And when I decide to add some new features to the community, I'm just going to go add them, right? And that's the huge thing, is going to be just a tremendous amount of value there. So here's the thing, is that I know that there are a ton of resources out there. I know that there's AI. I know and use those things as well, right? But sometimes it's not as easy to find or access those resources. Or sometimes it's absolutely wrong because it's hallucinating, which unfortunately happens more often than not. And so Ecamm itself is also something that could be really, really tricky to navigate and learn as well. And the key is this: it's like, yeah, there's a free trial. Yeah, it's, there's a huge community, and it is a wonderful community. I'm in there almost every single day helping everybody out as well. But to be able to get small knit live actual fixing and resolving of your problems, that's where Creator Tech Lab comes in. Right? So I want you to go ahead and figure out, is Creator Tech Lab for me? Well, here's the deal, is that it's $67 a month for the founder's pricing, but it goes up to $97 a month starting on September the 1st. So there's about a 2-week time period where it's going to be discounted, and it's going to be grandfathered at $67 per month as long as you stay active in your subscription. But what's one challenge worth to you? Remember I asked that question? What's one challenge worth to you? Right? What is it that time-based that it's like, ugh, or what is that stress worth to you to not have that stress, or at least have less of that, right? There's also a free 7-day trial to the community as well. So you can just get your feet wet and figure out, is this for me or not, right? Let me just switch over here. So I just want to show you what this community looks like. So when you first log in, you're going to be welcomed with this, and there's going to be some group rules, a quick welcome. Here's the announcement for today's live stream, and then basically ask me anything. Just go ahead and post something in this community, and you can ask anything that you would like to. Now, in terms of the classroom itself, as I had mentioned, right now, we've got the virtual event blueprint. So you can see here inside of the content. One second here. Let me just, I don't know if I can click on that. Okay, anyway. Virtual event blueprint is, again, that big training that I told you about. I believe it's 1 or 2 hours. And here we go. So you can see here, there's all of these different pieces of training that are inside there. And then we've also got the audio workshop, which again goes in quite deep into audio itself. So because that's one of the biggest challenges, look at all of this, all of this, plus different tips. And I'm always updating the different tips inside of this training as well. And then also the live producer playbook, which I'll show you right now. You're not seeing the share screen? What are you seeing? Nothing? And here's the live producer playbook, which is tons and tons and tons of video. Lots of training. All right. Technicom Media, we're not showing this share screen. I'm not sure. Let me just double check something here. Oh, hold on. That's why. Sorry, give me one sec. Da-da-da-da. Give me 1 second. Yeah, you see, this is some of the other stuff that we got to deal with. I got to log into this school. Give me one sec. Da-da-da-da. All right, let me, oops, here we go. Vertical screen share. All right, here we go. Now you guys can see it, right? Oops. All right, do you guys see it now? All right. Is one of the items access to Daniel? If so, what specifically is that? Yeah, actually, yeah, it totally is. So access to me inside of the community, right? Where I'm going to be on a regular basis, every single day, all night and all day, with regards to getting into that community. All right. So here we go. So this is the, there we go. Here's the blueprint. So we're talking about pre-event strategies, different types of web page strategies, all that type of stuff, video hosting, and things like that. One sec, sorry. Erg, give me one sec, guys. See, this is what I'm talking about. Some of the issues that you end up getting. All right. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there is the virtual event blueprint, the audio workshop we're talking about. So there's a ton of different pieces of content inside here, hours and hours and hours worth of content here. And so anyway, there is a lot of information inside of this community. So let me just switch over here. Let me go ahead and just ask you guys, what kind of questions do you have, if anything, about Creator Tech Lab? About your gear. Remember, I asked you to hold your questions until we knew that there was a place for you to be able to ask them. And now we're going to dive into that Q&A side of things. So I want to ask you, what is your biggest challenge that you've been dealing with recently, and that maybe you either are still struggling with it, or you're just like, oh man, I just can't figure this thing out. All right. I'll tell you right now, one of the big things is definitely audio. Now, I've got this guy. I'm actually working with Rode, by the way, right now. And who's got one of these guys? Who's got a Rodecaster? Let me know. Who's got a Rodecaster? Rodecaster Pro 2, or this Rodecaster Duo? Let me know if you've got one of these guys, because I'm curious to find out, do you actually use it? Do you use it to its maximum abilities? If so, right, how do you do it? Let me know. All right, hold on. All right, Matt's got the Rodecaster Pro. Awesome, that's really good. All right, let's see, Technone Media has a Pro 2. Awesome. So anybody who's got the Pro 2 or the Pro or the Duo, how many microphones do you have? I got how many microphones do you have? I'm curious. Rodecaster Pro with dynamic XLR mic and a cloud lifter. Okay, that's good. I think you got a really nice mic if I remember correctly. Yeah, just learning the ins and outs. Okay, great, great. So here's the thing. The Rodecaster is one of the most troubling and most amazing devices that are out there, but it's also very challenging to work with. And the reason why is because it is a hardware routing device. And when you start to mix hardware and software together, all of a sudden it's like, What audio is going in, what audio is going out, I don't know, right? And that is one of the big struggles and challenges that people end up dealing with on the Rodecaster. But if you go check my YouTube channel, right, just search for my name on YouTube, what you'll find out is that I've got a video all about how to configure the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Duo and how to use that inside of Ecamm Live. Here's the big thing. It's called use the chat channel. If you don't know how to use it quite yet, if you're not really well versed at it, use the chat channel. So not only are you using the chat channel as your microphone source, you're using the chat channel for your speaker output on your Mac. And if you're on Windows, you're going to do the exact same thing. And the reason why is because when you use the stereo channel outputs your system audio through your main chat channel. Right? And so any types of notifications, any types of dings or software blips or beeps, or if you are playing a song or a browser is playing something, that's going to go through to your main chat channel. That's going to actually go through your microphone channel, right? What you think is the microphone channel, but you're not going to notice that. Now, if you have an application like Zoom running, or if you have other things like that that's running, all of a sudden what you'll start to find out is that it looks fine, it sounds fine, my guest sounded fine, they heard me fine, but in the recording it's on twice. You actually hear echoes, right? So it's the Rodecaster Pro 2 is probably one of the big things that we'll be talking about on a regular basis because of the struggles that people are going through. All right, so let's see. Ronan the VO Warrior says 2 Rodecaster Pro 2 with 4 mics on each. Wow, that is some hardcore stuff. Now, are you connecting them to the same computer? I guess you could. It's not really an issue, right? But that's okay. For sure, you need that because you've got 8 mics, right? But most people I've found is that they actually have only 1 microphone, but they've got a Rodecaster Pro 2. And the big struggle with that is you're overusing it, like it's overdoing it. You're not really needing that. And I did speak to my friends at Rode, and I was like, hey, can you guys just make a 1 microphone device? But they said, nah, just get the Duo. Just get this guy. Now, what's really cool about the Duo is this. It's got the 3.5mm headphone jack on the front. I really, really like that because what that means is you can produce listening on this output and not using up headphone port 1 on the back of this. So if you're producing, there's 2 other people on the microphones, you don't have to split the headphone jack like how you have to do it on the Rodecaster Pro 2. You have to actually split headphone jack 1 using another piece of $10, $20 hardware in order to be able to in order to be able to hear what's happening. And then if you're using custom routing on the headphones, then you're done. All right, let's see. That says, biggest challenge, one of my studios doesn't have Rodecaster Pro. Need to get audio captured the gain correctly on the Hollyland lav mic. Have Ecamm audio at the proper level and have audio pound enough in Final Cut Pro. Yeah, man, I tell you, that's okay. That's actually one of the other struggles and challenges that I know a lot of creators, big popular creators, when they look at the different audio levels, it's not equal, right? Like you would think that you plug in 1 microphone and once it gets to Ecamm Live or once it gets to YouTube, right, even further than Ecamm Live, that your audio is fine because you hear it fine, right? There is a certain method that you actually have to do in place to not only listen to the recordings to make sure that they're effectively, in the right audio level, but you also have to play around and test around, but you also, of all things, need to know the hardware, right? So the hardware itself is going to be critical for you to know and understand how to use. So for example, the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Duo has that audio meter, right? And I know people here, they've used it, and it's like I always tell people, the audio level when you're adding the gain to your microphones, it still probably has to be in the 60 plus decibel gain level, right? It still has to be up there. And the reason why is because a lot of these microphones, they're hungry microphones. They're really hungry microphones. Like for example, This one here is the Rode Procaster. It's a dynamic XLR microphone, one of my favorites as well. I do have several. I've actually got two of these. I've got a Shure SM7B. I've got a Shure MV7. I've got all these different microphones. But this is one of my favorite microphones that doesn't need as much juice as the Shure SM7B, but it's still pretty darn good. And so, with this one, I'm actually adding about 65 decibels of gain. In my SM7B, I got to be at about 67 decibels of gain. But that's just because of my voice and because of my proximity level from my mouth to this microphone. But once you have it dialed into the Rodecaster and you have the audio meter getting just into above that unity level, that thick, bold line on the Rodecaster, right? Then you'll know that, okay, great. At least the output coming out of the USB port should be proper and is going to the software or the computer system more effectively, right? And so when you're, the Rodecaster Pro 2 is great, now you go into Ecamm Live and you look at the audio meter. And one of the challenges with the audio meter on Ecamm Live is that you can't actually see what the decibel range is. So Matt was basically saying he has no clue if the audio is good enough in Final Cut Pro. Well, first thing is the videos that you're recording, you might want to just decrease it just by a little bit. So maybe it's not 65 dB of gain on these microphones, but you're going to reduce it just a little bit. But essentially, the answer depends on where your audio is going to be averaging and peaking. Like there's LUFS as well as dB, and LUFS is like an average, let's call it, and then dB is what is being output at that given time. Right? But if you are creating audio, for example, for Audible, well, it needs to be minus 24 LUFS, which is not what you would normally hear on, like that terminology is not normally what you would hear for things like YouTube, right? Whereas on YouTube, we're always like, okay, average it out at minus 6 dB, right? Minus 6 to minus 12 dB. Personally, I find minus 12 is a little bit on the soft side, so I'm following minus 6 dB. So I have my average audio going to minus 6 dB. I think that's what you just said, right? That's just, I try to make a final output minus 6 on the meter. Yep, 100%. My audio is always low in Final Cut Pro. So if that's the case, right? If that's the case where your audio is low inside of Final Cut Pro, what you have to realize is that it's what's being recorded, right? So you're probably using Ecamm. And if you're using Ecamm Live to record, look at the audio meters. The audio meter should show just into the yellow. So you can see here, it just shows just into the yellow, right? So testing 1, 2, 3, just into the yellow side over here, right? Like right into that audio meter. Now I'm going to switch microphones. And this is the wireless microphone now on my shirt here. And you can see the exact same thing, that the audio is just going into the yellow zone. That is I'm going to say the average good area of what your audio needs to be coming into Ecamm Live. Now, if your Rodecaster Pro 2 is at unity level, and it's like, let's say you've got your microphone, it's at 65 dB or et cetera for gain, but then the output is proper, but Ecamm's receiving it on the low end, then you've got to just maybe boost up the Rodecaster. Just boost it up a little bit until you see Ecamm at the proper level, right? Some little tips is essentially what that is, because I would love to do the least amount of post-production editing as possible. I would love it to be truly live to drive, and it's like, oh, this is perfect. I just have to do some simple trimming and cutting and snipping, and all of a sudden it works out well for me, right? Audio is never a fun thing. Hey, by the way, did you guys see my Facebook post the other day? If you haven't, go check it out. I posted, there's this guy, something Taylor, his last name, something Taylor, and he posted, like he creates these amazing videos, and it's all about the audio side of things. And he recorded the Jeopardy stage. He recorded behind the scenes and showed us the stage of Jeopardy, how the microphones and how the audio systems are working. There's another one of his videos where he shows you the Saturday Night Live stage. And then there's another video he shows you about stadiums. It's like, my gosh, the audio team is massive. We're talking 3, 4, 5 people just to monitor audio. And it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, right? So yeah, keep up with that, okay, Matt? Just keep it up, and hopefully you can get that gain working properly inside of your Ecamm, and then do less on the post-production side of things. Too many auto sliders and paste in 3 places. Yep. No one in a booth and 1 in a desk setup. Okay, cool, Ronan. That's awesome. Can my audio be the people level everywhere without having to boost it in Final Cut Pro? The people level. Perhaps 30 minutes one-on-one will make me understand. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a phone call, right? I try to make my final output -6. Yeah. All right. So Rev Walk 80. Hello, hello, hello. How can I reach you? Well, today we're talking about Creator Tech Lab. This is a community that is basically that I'm building, and I'm starting it out right now, where you're going to get a lot of cool features and benefits. It is a paid community, and the reason why it's a paid community is because I can't do this for free, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. When you do things, or when you get things for free, you get the quality of free, right? But this community here is very affordable. I'm going to just throw up this QR code. Let's see, which one is it? I'm just going to throw up this QR code. You guys can see that. Let's go here. Feature. Yeah, I don't have it on this one. Okay, no worries. All right. So anyway, go to creatortechlab.com. Find out more about the community, RevWalk80. And that's basically where I'll be able to help you and everybody else to overcome your live stream struggles and challenges. So go to creatortechlab.com and join that school community. It's grandfathered pricing at $67 per month. There's a 7-day free trial. And then if you join after when September 1st hits the calendar, right, or the calendar hits September 1st, after that it goes up to $97. So I want you guys to just consider it. There's a 7-day free trial. All right. Let's see. I think my Ecamm's audio slider is a bit too low. Yeah. So here's the thing. I know that, for years now, people have been saying, leave your Ecamm audio slider at 80%. Right? Have you heard that? Who's heard that? A lot of people have said 80%. Why? Because you can boost it if you need to. And it's not wrong. The thing is, though, when you're using a microphone that has either a dial to increase the gain, or it has a software touchpad to increase the gain, or it uses software to be able to increase the gain, or if it's hardware like the Rodecaster, your gain is going to be added from that. It doesn't have to be done in Ecamm. So my suggestion to you is to not play with too many different audio fading levels in your tech stack, in your audio stack. Just leave Ecamm at 100%. It's not going to peak. It's not going to clip. It's not going to go too loud. Believe me, it's not going to. The reason why is because it can only take what's coming into it. What you're actually doing is you're taking your 100% audio from the USB port of your Rodecaster, for example, and you're knocking 20 points off the top, right? I don't suggest that. So this is my suggestion. Ecamm Live stays at 100% and only use 1 point to be able to adjust your audio levels. In the community, we'll dive deep into how to use Zoom more effectively as well. Because once we start using, not Ecamm for Zoom, but once you start using standalone Zoom or even Microsoft Teams, which I don't necessarily recommend or even like, what ends up happening from that is that one also has an automatic audio meter, right? So all of a sudden you've got your Rodecaster Pro, you've got your Ecamm Live, you've got your Zoom audio meter, and all of a sudden it's like everybody is different. And so inside of Creator Tech Lab, this is the troubleshooting stuff that I go through with you to be able to overcome those, right? My lav mic, my Hollyland Lark Pro has both gain and audio output levels. It does, and that's another problem, right? That's another big load of a problem. And so here, I'll give you a real quick tip. What you've got to do is if your microphone, so for example, I've got a ton of these things. All right, so here's a bunch of different Rode wireless microphones, right? So we've got the Rode Wireless Pro, the Rode Wireless Go, Gen 3, and then the Rode Wireless Me, right? We've got all of these different ones. And I've got another one sitting here somewhere. Here it is. Then we've got this one, the Rode Wireless Micro, right? The Micro doesn't have gain unless you plug it in through the receiver or the microphones into your phone, right? But these guys have gain on them by pressing some of the audio or the buttons on the bottom, right? So what I'm going to suggest is you configure your audio out of these guys first, right? Now, a couple of these different models, like the Pro, I think your model has it as well, your Hollyland. I think it's got 32-bit float on it, which means that it's going to be recording a safety track anyway. And you should use those safety tracks, right? Some other microphones not only just do that, but they just kind of go the cheap way and they just record your main track plus a backup track at negative 10 dB. Those are always the backups. But I'm going to suggest you use and configure this first. So how do you do that? Well, if you have, let's say, for example, this is the receiver, right? It's a USB connector on it. Well, you've got a couple of options, the USB as well as 3.5. What you can do is you can use the 3.5 millimeter and connect this to another device that you might have that you can measure the audio gain or the audio output on. Or take it from here, adjust the decibels, either 0, -3, -6, -9, -12, and so forth. Record the file and then listen to it, right? And then you'll be able to determine that the output on this is correct. You should also be looking at, so for example, you should also be looking at the little meters on here because it's going to tell you whether or not it's going to be too loud or too soft as well. Once it's configured on this correctly, then this can go to your Rodecaster Pro 2. Once your Rodecaster Pro 2 is configured for this, which is outputting correctly, then then it's proper. It's really crazy. But man, I'm telling you, audio is, oh gosh. And anyway, it's a passion of mine, but it's also a little tough thing, especially when you deal with some microphone or audio issues. It's great advice. I'm joining the Creator Tech Lab and know a lot, but I don't know it all. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you. I'm really looking forward to having you in there. We're going to have a lot of fun, I'm telling you right now. I've already tapped the shoulders of some great people, and they're going to be joining in terms of some of the guest speakers as well. So, and then I know that there's a lot of community members who have a lot of stuff, knowledge, and experience to share as well. So on the live streams, right, on the live calls, we'll also be doing a lot of that type of sharing as well. I know that several of you guys who are on here have areas of expertise that I don't have, right? Like Matt's, he's got a 3D printer and wood engraver and laser engraver and all this stuff. I don't know how to make an STL file. I did it once or twice. I have a 3D printer sitting in the hall. That's about it. Right? But anyway, I would love to learn some of those things. Why? Because you can make cool things for your live streaming gear. Right? There's one thing that I wanted to learn is how to create a cover for, I've got this OBSBot device that I'm not allowed to talk about right now, but I'm testing it out. I want to create a cover for it, but I don't know how. So I might tap your shoulders, my friend, on how to do that. I want to jump back a couple seconds. There was a question, I think it was Joel, and he was asking me what kind of microphone that I'm using. So this is the Rode Wireless Go Gen 3, the latest ones. This is the one that comes in different colors. So you've got the orange, I think you've got the pink and the light blue and all that type of stuff, so as well as black. And so Rode had graciously sent me the orange one. Why? Because they know my color's orange. I really like this microphone. It is amazing, amazing microphone. And what's nice about this one as well as these other guys, so this is the Me, which is, I guess, their second from the entry level, then their Pro, which is their top end. All of these have a 3.5 millimeter jack so that you can plug in a lavalier microphone. And normally, if you've seen my live streams and my training programs before, I wear a little bit of a lav mic on the side of my head, and it allows me to just kind of walk around and have the microphone directly by my mouth. And it allows me to sound a lot more clear and like that. Right? Cool. All right. Audio questions, any other questions? Camera questions. Camera stuff I know is, I'm going to say, I said this is it's a lot easier, but sometimes there are a lot of problems. I was talking with Neil, if you guys know Neil Fairmont, and also Adrian, and we were talking about different cameras, right? Who's got a cam link? Here's a quick, easy tip. Who's got a cam link? Who's got an Elgato cam link? If you've got one, just say cam link in the comments. The reason why I ask this is because little do you know that it's more common and more often than not that these guys start to fail after a few years, or at least, you know, several hundred hours worth of usage. I've had 2 of them fail on me over the past few years, to the point where I don't use them at all. I have a cam link. All right, Matt's got a cam link. Okay, get a different one, or at least have a backup of some sort. My theory, and I was talking with Doc Rock with this about a couple years ago, my theory is that the cam link, because of its plastic housing and it's very, very small, it overheats. If you notice that cam link gets extremely warm. And the reason why is because of the processor that's inside of it, the little encoder chip, is basically processing uncompressed video versus the cheaper $20 types of HDMI capture devices that you see. Well, that cam link, because of that, it's going to work a lot harder. And that heat and electronics are not friends, right? So think about it this: if you have a cam link and it starts to glitch, if it starts to go green with the HDMI signal, or if all of a sudden it just goes black, it doesn't work, and you have to unplug it, plug it back in, and it's plugged in directly to your Mac, or it's plugged into some sort of a Thunderbolt or high power availability and high data bandwidth hub, right? Your cam link might be dying. Now, what I usually recommend to people is just replace the cam link and go for something like the Elgato 4K-S or 4K-X. It's a little bit bigger. It still is plastic. The processor is really, really fast and powerful. Let me just see. There we go. It's really, really powerful, but on the 4K-S and the 4K-X, I find that because of the size, it actually dissipates heat much more effectively. It's a really, really good device. But aside from that, I was talking with Neil and also talking with Adrian Salisbury, and you know, these guys are like NDI. NDI is actually what I use a lot now for all my cameras. I actually have this camera here connected to NDI. I'm not using an HDMI capture card. I find that I'm able to use NDI more effectively, especially, but you have to make sure everything's connected by Ethernet. And then I'm able to send my video to any different computer system that's on my network. So I can have 3 computers in this studio using the exact same cameras, right? And the device doesn't cost much more than 2 or 3 cam links. So it's actually really, really powerful, and I can connect to televisions, I can connect other laptops, I can connect all of this type of stuff into this little box, and it's called a Zoe box, by the way. So anyway, that's one of my favorite little pieces of gear, and the biggest recommendation that I have for most people who are having struggles with video. All right. Let's see. Oh, thanks, man. You got my back for the 3D printing stuff. That's awesome. You have a cam link. Don't use it much. Yeah, cam link. Yeah, they're like light bulbs. Exactly. Sometimes they last. Other times they fizzle out. Cam link is the starter gear, in my opinion. Yeah, actually, you know, it's even beyond starter gear. The only thing, again, it's like the cam link is good, but if it starts to glitch after 2 years, I'm telling you, just replace it. Don't try to, you know, make it work. Just replace it. Or just start off right off the bat with something that's a lot better than that. And of course, we can dive into really complex setups inside of Creator Tech Lab, so multicam setups as well. And, you know, but I definitely tell this to people. It's like, you don't have to buy more gear. You don't have to buy more gear. In fact, I tell people, don't buy more gear. Tell me what you have, right? So if you guys go to creatortechlab.com, that'll open up the school about page, right? You can see it if you haven't joined yet. You can join the free trial, etc. on there. But if you go to Creator Tech Lab, it's going to forward you to the school. On one of the videos that's on there is the testimonial videos. I've got people like Michael Hyatt, Pedro Adeo, Katie from Ecamm. There's one really, really just beautiful, genuine, authentic lady, Dr. Andrea Hollingsworth. And she's on there, and you can see the video that she's got. You know, she had asked me, should I get this? Should I get this type of camera? Should I get this type of microphone? Should I get all of these things? And I said, you know what? I think we could actually make do with your MacBook Pro. You know, Apple makes not only just the best type of hardware, right? But far, like, there's no such thing as a Windows laptop that can outpace the microphone and the audio, the camera on a MacBook Pro, even a MacBook Air. Right? So she has a MacBook Pro. So we basically said it's all about lighting and it's all about placement. So we put the laptop on a little bit of a pedestal, we got some lighting, and the microphone on the laptop is perfect. So you can actually see the sample that she created immediately, I think it was within a few days after I had worked with her. And it was only just, you know, an hour or two that I had worked with her to be able to get that gear working. And she is an author. She's a really popular speaker and an author, and she's using this gear. You know, I forgot this other creator. He's a pretty big YouTuber. I think he's got over 1 million subscribers. And he does it on a laptop. One laptop, no external screens. It's just put up on a pedestal so that the laptop is kind of like this, and then the screen is up, you know, at eye level. And then he's got a few lights, and that's it. Makes mondo money from nothing else extra. Right? Because it's not about the gear that's going to make you more successful. It's not about the audio, all that type of stuff. It's about just getting it good enough for what you've got. And I can definitely help you with that. And then when you're ready to level up with your microphones and your audio and your lighting and to, you know, kind of upgrade your own home studio or professional office, we can always talk about those pieces there. All right, so we are now at the top of the hour, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be doing live streams more often. We're not just going to be talking about Creator Tech Lab. We're going to be talking about other things as well. But I do encourage you to check out Creator Tech Lab. I do encourage you to give that 7-day trial a shot. I'll see you on the inside. You'll be able to ask your questions. And then after the 7 days is almost up, you get to decide, do you stay or do you go? Now, of course, I'd love to see you stay. Not only, you know, will you get to keep the founder's pricing of $67 a month, but you also get to stay in this community. You also get access to the courses, the content, the extra pieces of training that I create all the time. And I want to see you continue to succeed in your journey of content creation. All right, so folks, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side in Creator Tech Lab. Go to creatortechlab.com, and I will see you guys there. Bye.